4 simple strength tests to track at home. In this video, I want to share 4 simple strength scoring tests that I personally do at home. There is no gym, no smart scales, no machines involved. They are just simple, practical tests that tell me whether my body is actually getting stronger over time. I focus on strength because research consistently shows that muscle strength predicts longevity. In fact, it predicts health outcomes better than body weight or BMI alone. Strong muscles help us stay mobile, independent, and metabolically healthy as we age. This isn't about appearance or bodybuilding. It's about tracking something meaningful, what your body can do, and using that as a guide for long-term health. Compiled by Dr. Siva Navaratnam and ChatGPT. I would also like to thank my children, Dinan and Jazara, for helping me in the production of this video. Why do I track strength at home? People often ask me why I focus so much on strength. I want to be very clear. I don't track strength for appearance. I track it because strength predicts health and longevity. Research shows that stronger muscles are linked to living longer, having better balance and fewer falls, better blood sugar control, and staying independent as we get older. In fact, strength is often a better predictor of long-term health than body weight or BMI alone. That's why I use strength as my guide. If my strength is improving, my health is usually moving in the right direction, even if the scale doesn't change. The next question is, when do I actually test my strength? I test it every 4 to 6 weeks. Not every day. I try to do it under the similar conditions each time, roughly the same time of day, and not when I am overly tired or unwell. I never test daily because strength changes slowly. Testing too often can actually be misleading. Day-to-day fatigue, poor sleep, or stress can make you think you're going backwards when you're not. What I really care about is the trend over time, not perfection on any single day. If the general direction is improving, that's a win. How do I score strength at home? I use 4 simple tests. I don't compare myself to others. I compare myself to last month. The first test I use is the chair sit to stand. This is a very simple test, but it's incredibly important. It mainly tests leg strength and everyday function. The strength we use to get out of a chair, get off the toilet, or stand up from a seat. To do this test, I sit on a standard chair and simply count how many times I can stand up and sit down in 30 seconds. I keep the movement controlled and safe. No rushing, no pushing through pain. The score is straightforward. More repetitions mean stronger legs. What matters most is not the number itself, but whether the number is improving over time. The second test I use is push-ups at your level. This test looks at upper body strength, including the arms, shoulders, chest, and core. I want to stress that there's no single right version of a push-up. You can do wall push-ups, bench push-ups, or floor push-ups. The key is to choose the level you can do with good form, without pain, strain, or holding your breath. I focus on clean, controlled repetitions rather than pushing for a big number. The score is simple. More clean repetitions mean a stronger upper body. And again, I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. I'm just looking to see whether I can do a little more than last time, or whether the same effort feels easier. The third test I use is the plank hold. This test mainly looks at core strength, the muscles that support your spine and help you move safely and efficiently. To do this, I hold a plank position with good posture. I keep my body in a straight line, avoid sagging through the lower back, and I make sure I'm breathing normally throughout. I don't aim to hold it for as long as possible at all costs. The score is simply how long can I hold the plank with good form. If I can hold it a little longer than last time, or it feels more controlled and comfortable, that tells me my core strength is improving. The fourth test I use is a single leg balance. This test looks at more than just strength. It also reflects balance and brain muscle coordination, which are crucial as we get older. To do this test, I simply stand on one leg and see how long I can hold the position without wobbling. I keep my posture upright and relaxed, and I breathe normally. The score is just the time in seconds that I can stay steady. This is a very practical test because balance is closely linked to fall risk and independence. If my balance time improves over the months or feels more control, that's a very good sign. After showing the four tests, this is how I bring it all together. I use a simple home-based strength scorecard like this one. There's no gym, no smart scales, and no machines. Just a clear way to track and progress once a month. For each test, I simply write down my result for that month. I'm not trying to be precise to the last second or repetition. I'm just looking for overall direction. There's also space for notes because things like energy levels, balance, joint comfort, and confidence matter too. This slide is very important because many people misunderstand what progress actually looks like. Progress is not just about lifting heavier weights or doing more extreme exercises. Progress can show up in several simple ways. It might be that you do more repetitions or hold a position for a bit longer. It might be that your balance is better or that the same task simply feels easier than it did last time. And that last point really matters. If something feels easier, you are stronger, even if the numbers hadn't changed much. Because of that, there are certain things I deliberately avoid. I don't use smart scales, BMI charts, apps that guess muscle mass, or one rep maximum testing. These tools don't measure function, and function is what keeps us mobile, independent, as well as we age. So I'll finish with a simple message. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need expensive machines, and you don't need fancy technology. What you do need is consistency, showing up regularly in simple ways. You need simple tracking so you can see progress over time without becoming obsessed. And you need patience because strength, like health, builds slowly. If you can keep your muscles strong, you are supporting a long, independent life. And that for me is what good health is really about. Thank you for watching.